Hello, everybody, and welcome to round 5 of the Sim Racing Online World Series Championship. This series is winding down to its final stretches here. We have 2 races remaining in this year-long quest for the Cup. Today we are here at the amazing Fuji, at the base of Mount Fuji, to endure the 60 minutes of racing with these 2 beautiful classes. As we're here today, I want to remind everybody who our sponsor is Liberty Footwear. Let's everybody give a big hand for Liberty Footwear. They've been supporting us through this whole thing. I will put a link in the description. I think we forgot to do that. So if we're trying to get there, we're going to make it easy for you, and we'll have a link in there. But these are custom footwear built in America, so you can enjoy stylish comfort, performance, and our safety hiking everyday wear. Custom fit boots, handcrafted in Michigan, USA. Make sure to tell him that Randy Marek sent you. He is our liaison to footwear, and he is responsible for getting all this sponsorship together. So let's give Randy Marek of MRG team a big hand out for there. Okay, so with that done, let's get into what's happening here today. As you can see, the guys are out on track and warming up. There's a few times in, and I'm here, Rob Milliken, with my good friend Woody from Woody TV, going to be side picking us here today. So let's get on with what's going on with these cars today, Woody.
Hello everyone, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. We are at Fuji Speedway. We are at the 1993 Fuji Speedway, but we are using 2 classes, as Rob said. Now, Class 1 drivers are going to be running in the Porsche 917K, built between 1970 and 1971. 2-door coupe, rear-engined, quite fat car, about under 820 kilos, with about 4.5 to 5 litre flat 12 engine, 4 to 5 speed gearbox. Bit of a monster of a car, and a bit of a bouncy suspension, as we've seen in the first 4 rounds. But the Class 2 drivers are going to be running in the equivalent of what we call the GT Revival Series. It's mimicking the series that takes place at the Goodwood Revival meeting. So we've got things like the Austin Healey, the Aston Martin DB4. We've also got the Chevrolet C2. And I think some other drivers are maybe in the Ferrari 250 GTO. We see a couple of people on the nice noisy Shelby Cobra. And a mixture of dry tyres. There will be no rain today, so our drivers won't necessarily do a tyre change unless something dramatic happens. But it looks dry out there for the weather, Rob.
Yes, very good, very good. Nice job. All right, so let's get a look at these standings. So as we stand today in the classes, we're going to look at the Class 1 standings here. You can see that Bjorn Hagman and Nick Westy and Lars Hagman are at the top of the list there, and it's very tight. You can see it's just 1 point separating first and second here, with about 8 points to third place. Tony Talbutier, who has, if you can see those zeros up there, he's only been in 3 of the 5 races so far. Well, counting today will be the 5th. So he's missed a race, and he's still right up there in the battle. So that's good to see. In the Class 2s, we have Phil Brown as an independent driver, and Gila De Silva right up there. There's quite a bit of a stretch there. So Phil Brown pretty much has this to win as his own. If he's just got to show up the last 2 races, I think, and he might have it. That's a pretty wallop of a score to try and get there. As you can see down the list there as the scores go. Then let's have a look at the actual standings in the World Series. As you can see here, Philip Pichler leading with 623 points, with Nick Westy from Black Cat Motorsports right on his tails at 613. So just that 10 points behind. So that could be a swing in either direction here. Jean Vandergeest is holding on to third with 580. He's considerably back, but there are 2 rounds of scoring to go here. So the separation there with Ed Jones, 532, Kostas Kantavoris at 481, and so on. So you can see there how that is lining up for the World Series. So with that said, we've only got about 8 or so minutes left of practice here. Let's get a look at some of the times that these guys are putting in practice. And I would think some of these guys are probably getting ready for quali and having maybe low fuel and softer tires just to get out there. What do you know about this circuit, Woody? I can say I know that it has the longest straight we're going to face, I think, all year. It's almost a mile, 0.97 for a mile. The kilometers are, I don't know what the kilometers are. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, we are using the 1993 layout of Fuji Speedway, which differs a little from the modern version. It's got less chicanes in it, so the first sector of the track is pretty much the same. Quite fast, quite twisty. It's going to be very difficult with these the long sweepers, I think you'd call them. So tyre wear may be an issue if they push the left front too hard, but the last sector is just a chicane and a very long right-hander heading onto the straight, so you've got to just keep it as pinned as possible, or a feather of the throttle to try and get onto this big long straight. And the big long straight is going to be where the passing happens, Rob.
Yeah, that last corner on this particular version, I know of all of us that have raced the modern Fuji, it gets a little tricky in that Sector 3. This Sector 3, you just get to hammer it through that big old right-hander. So I think, as Woody says, we're going to see a lot of passing attempts right there on that last little sector. All right, about quali's in about 7 to 8 minutes, so we got a little bit of time here to kill. Get a look at some of these guys as they take it around the track. That Sector 3, this is the only tough part of Sector 3 right now. It's a little bit of a chicane there before this big, let's get a wheel shot. This is that big right-hand bender up to the straight now, where there's, I think the modern version has added like 4 turns in there, if not 5, where it just really slows down the flow of the track. But as you can see, this long straight here, we'll get to hear the throats of these cars opening up down this straight. And this will be the longest straight of the series. So these guys should make it all the way into their final gears. Then hard on the brakes into this turn 1. So that's, oh, as you can see the Ferrari there getting out a little bit out of whack. So Nick Westy with a 126, he's still parking it. Lars Hegman right behind him with a 128, but I would believe that Westy probably is in Q trim. Certain, but I would guess. Let's get a look at some of these GT classes. I know John Vandergeest he's parked right now, but he's sporting that great skin where we are waiting for Gilles to get in. Gilles, he's one of our painters. As we have a look at the Austin Martin here. Let's get a wheel view of the Austin. That fancy, yeah, wooden wheel. I remember my dad had a Jaguar XJ6 when I was a kid, and he bought a custom signature steering wheel, and it kind of looked like this with the wood and the ruled studs. So this part of the track is pretty familiar. It hasn't changed much. You can see Mount Fuji there.
It does look like a few people are struggling to get it stopped for the hairpin, or in fact the hairpin and the chicane at the end, because you've got to brake whilst turning right. And a lot of the Porsches are suffering, locking up their left front. Unfortunately, there are some concrete barriers to stop you if you get it wrong. So
right.
let's hope that drivers can keep it from going through those or into those concrete barriers. But the rest of the circuit, I think it's going to be very tough to pass through sectors 1 and 2, because each corner kind of leads into another. There isn't really any big stopping points, and as we've seen from the earlier rounds, particularly the last round in Sugo, so we're staying in Japan for this one, it was very difficult to pass some of the lower class cars. The class ones were having to exercise a little bit of patience, but this track is a little bit wider, so it may be a bit more forgiving. but we will have to see.
Yeah, that's a good point, Woody. It was very, very treacherous last week or 2 weeks ago at Sugo with that uphill, downhill, tight turns. So I think we're going to find a little bit more room here. I did do a couple of just reconnaissance laps in both cars, and it was kind of fun. You can at least open up the throttle on these Porsches on this track down that straight. But you do have to be really careful coming into that hairpin of Sector 3 there. Because many times I hit those cement barriers you mentioned. Yeah, it was quite the alert as he's coming into that now. As you can see, Lars, you have to really prepare. You can see the skid marks in the road there where people have been just remembering to get on the brakes there.
Well, I think it's very lucky as well that we're not using an even older layout. We're obviously using cars from the 60s and 70s, but this track back in the 60s and 70s was completely different. You had coming into turn 1, you headed into a banking section, which was obviously discontinued for safety reasons. I believe a few people flipped over the barrier on the banking, but it had a whole different first sector, and then rejoined the circuit that we know and love today. And I think it's just as well that we're not running any real-time weather, because it would probably be monsoon weather
right
in Japan right now.
Yeah, I do remember that bank, and I actually have a picture of it. I didn't get it uploaded to have a look at, but no, definitely was a killer. So everybody's probably glad they removed that. Yeah, alrighty then.
I think we've got a couple of drivers, ones to watch from last week. As we said, Tony Tauvito, I don't think he's actually going to be present today, but every round that he's attended, he has put it on the top step of the podium. So it's just a pity that he's missed a couple of rounds. But Bjorn Hagman, 2 second places and 2 fourth places. He has kind of gone down a little bit, but it's not. He could lose this championship, but not being consistent. But a couple of other drivers have taken wins, like Nick Westy, who's second in the championship at the moment, and was first in the first round and grabbed the podium in the third and in the fourth round. So one's to watch in Class 1. And in Class 2, as you said, Rob, Phil Brown seems to be running away with it. His last 2 rounds were on the top step of the podium. But it's all battle for the second down to about 5th, I think. We've got Jules De Silva, Ben Summers, my teammate, and Simon Barnes, all very, very close together. I think even Ed Jones could get in on the fun. So the championship is very close, not only for the Class 1 and Class 2s, but for the World Series. So all to play for in the last 2 rounds.
Yeah, good racing there in the mid-pack. As we do see Nuno Rodriguez, glad to see he made it in today's race. And we also have Kokoski has made it in. Michael Kokoski is also on board. As we saw him, I think he's in the Austin, and we just had him on camera a minute ago. So we've got a pretty good field of the GTs today. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cars. And if Gilles makes it in, that'll be 10. So right now we have 18 on the server, I believe, and we got 9 and 9. So should be some good racing as quali is about to tick down. We got about a minute left here. And our host, Jean Vandergeest, is going to kick it over to the qualification section, which will be 15 minutes of quali to set yourself up for the start of this. I'm really curious, Woody, about what's going to happen here at the start with that turn 1 section. Always, proving to be the spot in multiplayer races that I've got in. If you're not patient at all, some people just try to take advantage, and there's always a big pile up there. So I got my fingers crossed that we're going to make it through with no incidents. It might be a reach, but yeah, that's my hope.
Yeah, we'll be using a formation lap as well, so they'll be heading into turn 1 fully in each other's draft, depending on how they get the jump off the last corner, because they usually the admin says that they can accelerate off the last corner and it's green. So, but heading into turn 1 at full speed, and it does get a little bit tight. The track does fall away from you in turn 1 and 2, so it's going to be very interesting, at least for the Class 1s, but I'll keep an eye on the Class 2s to see how they negotiate it.
Right. A little bit lower speed for these guys, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be throwing their cars around, as it is an equal weight distribution with no downforce at all on these cars. These are basically just street cars. As we are here headed into the quali, that is our clue right there. So we will be starting our qualification sessions once the server ticks over. Get a good idea what's going on here. Let's see, I have a couple of, there's a good shot. Guys coming out now. Get a recon lap in and then start pushing. I would assume a low fuel and soft tires for this session.
It looks like everyone's raring to go at the end of the pit lane.
Right.
They all want to be first out on track, nearly rear-ending each other. But there's two Porsches out first. I believe that's Nick Westy out first.
It could be, yes. It does look like Westy. And there he is. That, I think, is one of the Hegmans right behind him. Or try to figure out who's in the yellow cars here. You see, there is your Class 1 Nick Westy. And yes, that is Lars Hegman right behind him there. So, just as I thought. So we have Westy in the blue. We have Lars in the yellow. Costas Cantazoras, he'll be far back here. He's fighting his way through here. He's in the red, white, and blue as he just gets his way through there. Bjorn Hegman, Lars's brother, is in the red and white of Porsche. Then we have Freddie Hell in that custom skin from MRG. So he's in the black, red, and white. Jacob Smythe, his teammate, as we saw him earlier, he's in another custom skin. Here he comes. And he's got the yellow, orange, red, and black. Very nice skin. Pischler's in the pits now. Randy Marek, I guess he's the team captain of MRG. So you can see the familiar scheme. He's in the Castaway. It's a familiar paint job as the Freddy's with different colors with the front stripes. So he's not in the corn-fed machine today. He is driving the Castaway. That 118.
It does look like Gilles de Silva has joined us. We're going to have to keep an eye because he's entered under a different name. So
oh my
if you see the if you see your name in the standings, that is Gilles de Silva.
Okay. In Gilles' defense, I've been chatting with him a little bit. He has struggled. He's got some kind of error with R-Factor 2, and it has just destroyed him over this past week. He's been frantically trying to reinstall, move files. He finally got it up and running, so we are going to dedicate this race to Mr. No Name, Gilles de Silva. It is his paint jobs that we see on most of the GT cars. And you can see now he's he's pulling it over, but he's got the shark tooth. Very beautiful. Here is one of his paint jobs now, John Vandergeest in the Hulk. He told me the name of this car, and I completely forgot it now. Let me look on the website. He was telling me about the paint jobs. Yeah.
I mean, just in case you didn't know it was him, he's got his name on the back of the car as well. So we see that Nick Westy has 1-2 pole with a 1:28.4. Lars Hagman not far behind.
There he is, right there,
Westy.
Westy.
Not far behind, but that's 0.8 of a second. So Lars hoping to maybe catch some draft in the first part of this qualification session, but not. Maybe that was a bit detrimental for us through the first two sectors, but the traffic is getting a bit busy now. We've got, if we can do maths correctly, we've got maybe 18, 19 cars on the track, so even the Class 2s haven't even set a lap time yet, so we're still waiting for Robin Taylor, who put his first lap time on the board for the Class 2s.
Let's see where Phil Brown is now. Should be getting
so
close.
Robin Taylor does go to pole provisional pole. with Nuno Rodriguez in second. That's a 1:51.2. I think I did see a 1:48 in practice, so there are faster times coming for the Class 2s.
Emery there, green and green in the vet. Don Vandergeest is about to cross the line here. He's also green. In the Incredible Hulk Green Mamba. That's a beautiful skin.
It looks like Simon Barnes pop up briefly to second place, but he's sitting at the side of the track at the moment.
And
but John Vandergeest pops up with a 1:49.
Yeah, he killed that last sector. He was purple in the last sector, so that jumped him right up to the top. Let's do, Lars has parked it. Smythe, they're all sitting in the pit stop right now. Fischler, he's yellow in sector 1, not a threat. So let's see. Taylor now is going to challenge. He's purple and purple. This could take it away from Vandergeest as he's barreling to the start-finish line. Let's see. This is going to be the fastest lap of the GT class so far. As Kokoski put the time up, but there it is, 1:47.6. Very fast for the GT. Nicely done by Taylor. So it's Taylor, Vandergeest, and Kokoski right now. Ben Summers in fourth. Meanwhile, fifth place, Bjorn Hagman. He's lost a little bit in sector 2 there, so I wouldn't expect him. He might move up, but I don't think he's going to improve above Kentosaurus. We do have Freddie Hell in third, about to cross the line. As you see, there's no improvement there. And here comes Freddie. He's yellow and yellow as well. So where is Kentosaurus, you say? He is right here. And he's also yellow and yellow. So these guys are a little struggling on their second and third laps here compared to the first lap. And Marek, as you can see there, Costas is coming in. Maybe he's going to get himself some fresh rubber. We shall see. I think Lars also on a giving up this lap, it looks like. He's on an out lap, but he is also coming in. So these guys might be freshening up. We are halfway through quali, so perhaps it's time to get some tires. Let's get a look here at Kokoski in that Austin. Coming around, that is the number 9 car, or the 9th place car of Taylor in front of him. Or right behind him there, so let's check on Taylor as well. As purple and purple, Taylor is going to put up another fastest lap, 47.6 and 47.4. So he adds 2 tenths, and that is blowing sector 3. Well, I wouldn't say blowing it, but those 2 tenths more in sector 3 would have got him down into the 2.472. So as he loses it there.
Handy little tow from the car in front. Technically not his teammate, but his same car class. And I believe they're in the, what will be the DB4. So those are the Aston Martins. They are very similar because they've got the front grille like the Austin Healey. I think there's only one driver in the Austin Healey today. No one decided to take on the Austin Healey. I think Nuno Rodriguez is our single participant in it. So people decided to take noisiest of the cars over there.
Steve Vandergeest off in sector 1, but he's purple in sector 2, and let's see if he can come up with another brilliant sector 3 as he crosses the line. I don't think he's going to get ahead of Taylor, but he does improve his time a little bit. Yeah, he's within 3 tenths, so not too bad. Phil Brown right there, our points leader, just behind him, has a 47.4. So these guys are pretty tight. They're all within half a second of each other until you get to Kokoski. And
it looks like these GT Revival cars take a little bit of winding up throughout the session. It's taking them at least 4 minutes to get their fast laps in. It's to get these tyres warmed up, as I say, no downforce, good old using the right foot to steer the car, but good lap from John Van der Geest.
Yes, very good. All right, we have the 8th place. LaBelle is going to put in a lap. Oh, he's on out lap, so Michael LaBelle in the red Porsche is starting one of his time laps. Some 7 seconds off the pace. Marek, for some reason, Randy is in the pit. Maybe he had to go plow the field. He's just taking a break, perhaps. As we see, Westy's also in the pit. Bjorn Hageman is purple in Sector 1, so let us see what happens with Bjorn here. Putting in his bid as we are down to 5 minutes remaining. Currently third with a 127.3. His last was a 132.8, so that was definitely a warm-up lap. So let's see if we can nail Sector 2. This is the trickiest part here coming into Sector 3. So he did lose a little bit there in Sector 2. And he only had 0.84 better in Sector 1, so I don't think he's going to improve. Unless he can absolutely kill this last section. These Porsches are really fun to watch. They bounce and slide around. It's like a bar of soap racing down the track.
So the gaps at the top of class 2 are getting very, very close. Robin Taylor putting in that 147.4, but the gaps behind are in the hundredths of a second. Phil Brown 0.04 away from provisional pole, with John Van der Geest 0.1 away. So it's getting close in the top 3 of class 2. Maybe there's some draft involved, perhaps, but getting very, very close.
Yeah, they do seem to be kind of hanging out together, you know, utilizing that fact. With no downforce at all, it's got to help a little bit to have a car in front of you diving into that wind, cutting a hole for you.
But these corners just seem to go on and on and on and on. I think it's going to be beating up the left front quite significantly. They've got to be very careful. We did see a couple of pit stops where people did run out of rubber a couple of weeks ago, but maybe the GT cars are a little bit kinder on the tyres. But we'll have to see. The Porsches definitely are not, as we've seen.
Yeah. And Freddie Hell crosses the line just in front of Van der Geest. He does not improve on his time. As we have John now, again purple in Sector 2. He seems to be doing, it's hot and cold for John. Oh, and a purple and purple. So does he jump on top of Taylor? Look at this, a 47.3 by 0.134 quicker than Taylor. What a brilliant lap by Van der Geest. Getting his best times in Sector 2 and 3 in that green Mambo. What a beautiful car. Okay, where is Mr. Taylor, and does he have anything for him? So he is just now starting a lap in the Austin. So we've got the Austin versus the Cobra in the GT class. Purple in Sector 1. Taylor's putting in his bid.
Looks like you can ride these curves quite significantly in these cars, and yeah, coming through the Sector 1 section and up over the hill. This is very similar to the modern part of the circuit as you come down into this left-hander, which seems to go on forever. But then it's this last part with the last, what's called, I can't remember. Normally the chicanes and things have just normal names on the Japanese track. It's the Dunlop chicane of all things. So down to the Dunlop chicane, Porsche right behind. And they need to get a good exit out of here and just hang on to it through this last big long right-hander. So this might be a good place for lapping cars to get past, because the track is very, very wide.
Yeah, he is purple and purple. Taylor has a shot here with just over a minute remaining. This could be the pole for the GT class. See, the Porsches might be giving him a little bit of help there. Let's see what happens. You have anything for Van der Geest? At the line, and bingo, a 146.7. He has broken into the 146s. Good heaven. So personal bests all the way around with 2 purple sectors put Robin Taylor on the pole. Where is Vandergeest? Just starting another lap, so we'll see what happens there. Meanwhile, here comes Pichler on his bid. Will be the last starting of the last lap. There's 30 seconds or so. He's crossed the line, so this will count. So this will be for all the beans right here. And that's not going to help. He's lost a little bit there. Is that Nuno in the, did he just pass?
I believe Nuno is in. I can't remember what colour car he is. It's I have to get used to the different cars and manufacturers for these newcomers. But I believe Nuno is the first. This is his first entry in this championship so far. So
yes.
Baptism of fire, I think.
He's on fire?
No, not yet. No.
Okay, there he is. He is not. He's in the Austin. Okay, who was in that silver? Was it Emery? No.
The silver Ferrari, I believe, is Simon Barnes.
It's in the pit now.
I believe we've got 2 Ferraris on the track.
Oh, here, it was Ben. It was Ben. He's in the gray silver. Right, Ferrari.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Your teammate in the Dr. Pepper livery. Very good, very good. Okay, this is it, ladies and gentlemen. The third place car of Phil Pichler. This is his last bid, and he's yellow, and he's not going to improve. The session is over. These are the last laps. I believe that is it for everybody. Ben Summers is still coming around on a time lap. He is personal best in the middle, though, so let's see if he can move himself up from currently 6th, I believe. Oh, he pushed into play. All right, so have a Dr. Pepper with your barbecue on your barbecue. Get some fresh meats there to cook on that flaming Ferrari. Wow. What a way to finish the session. That's a nice way to go out. Nicely done. That is cinema right there. Very good done there, Mr. Summers. Okay. Get out, though, please. Get out before, you don't want to see any casualties here. All right. So there we have that. Very brilliant session. Okay. So we are going to switch over now to the warm-up section. That was pretty good quality.
Yeah, very, very close at the top of each. Well, at least there seem to be some groups at the top of each class.
Yeah.
Like the top 3 of each class seem to be very, very close, and then you have the next group behind. But championship connotations, Phil Brown is back in 3rd. Nick Westy is doing what he has to do at the top of provisional pole. Well, not provisional now, it is pole. And the championship leader is all the way back in 5th. So that's a bit of a surprise.
Yes, Bjorn. And that is just ever such a slight lead. So you'll see as they warm up. Now, I would assume now this is the time when they come out for full tanks, hard tires, whatever they're going to be racing with.
We do see a few people trying some starts at the end of pit lane. I'm not sure why, because they don't need to actually do a standing start. So maybe it's just habit. I'm not entirely sure.
Right.
Formation lap, they can go on the green at the end of the out of the final corner, I believe. So no need for standing start shenanigans.
Right. Trying to go up the line here. This is Simon Barnes. He'll be in the red Ferrari. George Emery, who's still in the pits, and Nuno. And that Austin, number 21. And Kokoski. The DB4. Phil Brown. Also in the James Bond machine.
Just to confuse us, there's new white Astons on the track. So
Yeah.
we'll keep an eye out for that.
Now, Phil Brown and Kokoski, please tell me they are both in the number 7 as well. Alrighty then. We'll be able to figure that out. Not. And then Westy still in the pit. Costas Cantasaurus put some heat out. As you mentioned, this will be a formation lap with the race starting at the last turn. So now, with that last turn being such a giant apex of, I don't know how many degrees, is it going to start at the end of it where the straight starts? I would assume, as they come out of the chicane.
I would assume so. Yeah, it's as soon as you can get on the gas. When I did some practice laps around here, it's a corner where you feel like you can go faster than you can. It seems to drop away from you. It doesn't really have any banking to help, and you constantly want to try and get on the throttle, but you don't know when because there's no kind of landmarks around you, so you're having to tease the throttle. And I think tightens up on the exit as well, just to be annoying. So you daren't clip the curb in that last turn because it will send you to the grass, and that's ruined your exit. And one of the biggest places that people are going to be passing by is the main straight, so you've got to get momentum onto it.
Nowhere near as frustrating as the modern Fuji in that section. That Sector 3 is a lot of drivers just don't like Sector 3 of Fuji. I don't mind it because I'm slow. So I'm already in shape to make those turns. But you really have to slow the car down in the modern Fuji in this Sector 3 where it's got all those crazy turns and the uphill change and then unwinding into that last sector, or the last sector of that turn that puts you on the main straight, which in this case is kind of where it tightens up a little bit.
Yeah, it has a completely different feel depending on what era you're running. As we said, the 1970s, heading into turn 1, will be flat out around the banking. Here, you're hard on the brakes. And I think even so we're running 1993, I think it changed in the late 90s to early 2000s to what we see today. Because it houses like Super GTs and Super Formula and even 6 hours of Fuji with the World Sports Cars. So it's an FIA Grade 1 track to this day. So it's got a heritage from way back in the 60s. It was built in 1963, so it's a pretty old track.
Right. And they did some F1 races here before they went back to Suzuka.
Yeah, I believe it 2007 and 8. I can't remember why they took a break to go to Fuji. Maybe Suzuka was under refurbishment, but they did do a couple of Formula 1 races here, which is astounding for
right.
In the 2000s.
I think
it suited them. But.
Didn't Mitsubishi owned it and then sold it to Toyota, and then we had a couple F1 races, so it might have had some kind of sponsorship money thing going on there. All right, folks, here we go. Those are the most famous words in sim racing, and we are ready for the formation lap. You guys are going to take the grid. Vandergeest is out there in that beautiful green Cobra machine. Set up the extended 1B battle box. Good idea who's who and what's what. All right, they're all out there. Now at the horns, which will be now. This will start our formation lap. So with that said, let's get a look at the starting order, see if I got it right. All right, here we go. Nick Westy with that beautiful pole lap, followed by Costas Cantasaurus in second, Philip Fischler in third, Lars Hagman in fourth. Fifth place will be the brother Bjorn Hagman. followed by Freddie Hell from MRG, Jacob Smythe from MRG, and then Michael LaBelle from Robin Taylor. Now, in the AM there, I didn't see Marek, so we're going to have to see. As you saw the top three, there is Bruno Rodriguez, Ben Summers, George Emery, and Simon Barnes, and that will be followed up by Ed Jones. And there's Randy. So Randy's, for some reason, they have him starting in the back, so let's get a look at him and see if he's made his way through the traffic. He should have cleared. There he is. He's in the back of the pack, so we are good to go. All right. So there is your starting order. So glad to see that Randy got to the back of the Porsches in the Class 1.
Yeah, Randy did mention that he was possibly having some internet trouble, so he just has to play it by ear. But hopefully Randy can finish this one, because he's had technical problem after technical problem. And he's our sponsored or sponsored driver, so it'd be nice if he could finish one of the series that he is the sponsor for.
Exactly. All right, we are into that final turn now, so I believe looks like they've started. By the sounds of things, they've started right out of the chicane, so this could have been in the race notes. As you see, Westy stretching his legs already, jumping out there. These two have got a considerable gap already on third and fourth. Let's check back with the two. Here is Vandergeest and Taylor. Looks like Vandergeest gets his nose in front to leave his first lap. He's on the inside in that Cobra. It's going to be a drag race down the straight now. Excuse me. So Vandergeest taking advantage of the start, but Taylor's coming right back on him for the GTs. Oh, and he's going to be in the lead for lap 1. Meanwhile, here come the Porsches. See Westy and Cantasaurus out in front of these guys. There is Cantasaurus with Westy out front right there. But meanwhile, they have a really good battle going on back here already. Vandergeest stretching his legs a little bit. Phil Brown and the Austins. Ben Summers right there. The mid-pack here. Guys are keeping it bunched up. Very nice. Oh, he gets a little bit wide. There's the twin Austins. It's your guess is as good as mine in front of the other one. Meanwhile, to the pointy end. Here is Westy. All right. Going to give you guys the track map so you can kind of follow along here. See where the dots, follow the dots, kind of get a good idea what's going on. These guys complete the first lap. Westy, as usual, out in front. We don't have Calvitie here to pressure him like he did last week. Meanwhile, in the back.
Yeah, quite surprising, really, that it was cleaner than we thought into turn 1. We were thinking the sparks were going to fly, but
right.
Everyone seemed to keep their nose clean into 1.
Vandergeest holding on to that lead. So Kakowski and Phil Brown in the twin Austins, and Simon Barnes just behind in the Ferrari. And then we have George Emery in the red vet, followed by Ed Jones in the blue vet. So the tail end vet is going to have a nice battle here coming into the GTs. Very good stuff for the GTs.
Yeah, just to make it extra confusing for us, the two white Austins are close together.
Yeah. As you can see, Ed Jones getting in front of Emery there right off the bat. 1 lap in. But meanwhile, twin Austins. We got a little bit of a battle for 5th place up here as Jacob Smythe is closing in on Bjorn Hageman as he takes a little bit of turf with him there. And that's Freddie Hell right behind the two of them. So you can see by your track map over there that Westy is just running away from 2nd and 3rd at this point in time anyway. Like he's looking to the inside. Oh, a bold move.
Yeah, bear in mind that Bjorn Hagman is our championship leader at the moment, so he's got to take it a little bit careful.
Right.
We have seen that he's been a little bit back in the pack. He started off strong, but he's in these latter stages in the championship. Some of these tracks have gone his way, so he's going to keep his nose clean if he's going to stay out front. But Westy is doing what he needs to do. Out in front by 2.3 seconds, it looks like. So
yeah.
Starting off strong.
He is running away. Meanwhile, in the GTs, it looks like Summers and Phil Brown right now on the back of Summers. Getting a little bit of a tow here. He's going for the pass. He's got to the inside. It's going to be tight. He's got the position into turn one, so there is an overtake right there. Phil Brown moves himself up into fourth in class. Well, is he going to battle back? Summers trying to put up some defense there. Oh, and that's not going to help the situation any. But Ben can't take advantage of it. But meanwhile, up in the front, it looks like Taylor has caught Vandergeest and is coming in for a little bit of a challenge here. It also looks like, sadly, Gilles, your name here, has left the server, so most unfortunate. It's this battle for the lead here. Westy now coming across some of the back markers here. He gets through Kokoski. Next for the leader will be, looks like Phil Brown will be next.
Oh,
or
that's
no.
a white Aston off.
Oh no. Was that Kokoski?
That's Kokoski. Yeah, just going a little bit wide, letting a Porsche through, but he managed to get it back onto the circuit for the main straight, so no harm done. But side by side for Ben Summers and to Phil Brown into turn one.
Right. As well as Vandergeest and Taylor battling. I can see these zero downforce goes as there goes Taylor through the two GT leaders. So they have about 3 or 4 breaths to make with that gap before the second place car of Costas comes up to them. Here is Costas now with Lars Hegman right on his tail. Pitchler just gets around. Pitchler makes a pass on Bjorn, our points leader. Excuse me. Pitchler just got around Bjorn there. We missed it. But into this treacherous turn here. Probably the toughest turn on the track, I believe. It's got to be right there. That chicane into sector 3. Or whatever you want to call it.
Especially braking and turning at the same time. You have to get it right. If you lock up, you're heading off to the scenery. So it's all sometimes a plea when the other class comes through. It splits some of the cars up a little. But it still looks like Ben Summers and Phil Brown are very, very close together. Though Nuno Rodriguez was the winner of letting the cars through, has skipped ahead.
Yes, gained himself a nice position there, as he is next in line behind Taylor and Vandergeest. Although be it quite the gap, but still, he's there.
Yeah, Vandergeest got a very, very good exit on the start out of the chicane. Caught Robin Taylor a little bit napping when he was alongside coming out of Viana corner. But Robin Taylor, I think, has the pace to stay with John Vandergeest, and we don't like to name John Vandergeest very often because we've cursed him in these first few rounds. He's had some very good results, but in the latter stages, it's either been fatigue because he's had to, I think, get used to a direct drive wheel and a VR headset. So a bit of a change in setup, which has made things a bit different. But this could be race long. We've only 10 minutes gone, and they are nose to tail.
Right. I'm curious. Hopefully, John will join us in the post race and see if he actually did get his Pimax working. He was struggling there for the first week or so, trying to get everything set up proper. Me personally, I don't have VR, but I think when the Steam frame comes out, that will be the one I'm going to get. I like the idea of wireless.
It does look like the drive, at least the GT class, are suffering coming into that first or the Dunlop chicane. Just getting it slowed down, they are locking tyres significantly. So will this be the class where they have to take a pit stop? Because it's going to be that the pit entry is quite tight, so it's going to be quite a slow stop.
So a few battles here. We still have
Bill
this.
Brown again is going to overtake Ben into turn one. This is going to be race long, I think.
I think you're right. And now he's got his sights on Nuno. Let's see if we can get that rear view. There it is. The pressure is on. Nicely done. And up at the tip top here. Here comes Marek coming through the GTs. Marek currently in 8th. Hanging in there. Got to get his way through here.
After Bjorn unfortunately lost out in some of the traffic, he's not letting Pichler get away. A battle for 5th in the Class 1 with only 10 minutes gone. Looks like Pichler may have made a mistake and Bjorn may have been through. Indeed he did.
Yes, he did indeed. There is Pichler now. Must have had a little bit of an off there. You see the gap.
It's the stopping of the hard stopping point in turn 1. They're not really getting it slowed down, and if you get braking wrong, you're off into the gravel.
He's got some work to do now to catch back up to that battle. But meanwhile, the GTs are all bunched up here. This is some great racing as they are drag stripping it, and that's Vandergeest. Also, just ahead of these guys, is now being challenged, I believe, by Taylor once again. We should just jump up there real fast as he's put it off in the dirt. And Brown and Rodriguez. Here is Taylor on Vandergeest for the lead. Looking to the inside. Oh, just not quite enough that time, but putting the pressure on. John's got to be feeling it. Or should we call him he that is not to be named. Meanwhile, just behind them is Ben Summers and Nuno having a good fight right here.
So it looks like Phil Brown did have a relatively bad qualifying, but he's looked like he's maybe made a break for it in 3rd. But I don't know if he has the pace. He's already 15 seconds behind 1st and 2nd in Class 2.
Right, his best lap so far.
He's
a second off.
He is a 1:40.49, and they're in the 1:47s, 1:48s.
Yeah.
But he's doing what he needs to do. He's got a lead in the championship. All he needs to do is finish. But when the visor or the virtual visor comes down, you always want to get the best finish. You don't really want to just trundle around and make up the places. So I don't blame him.
And here comes Nick Westy. There's the leader Porsche getting through these, what is it, 4th, 5th place GTs. Nicely bunched up. Meanwhile, up 2nd and 3rd in the Porsche class is next to get through these GTs. There is Lars Hagman. DeCosta's just ahead in 2nd. So the battle for the podium as these guys are getting pinched a little bit. Look at the GTs. These guys are in a race-long fight, I feel.
I mean, I did say Phil Brown was getting away, but I think he caught or got caught by one of the Class 1s in a very awkward place, and now it's battle resumed for 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Three different manufacturers right there fighting for that 4th position. Phil Brown in 3rd right now in that Austin. And here comes Costas. I believe that's Costas. Is it not? No, it's got to be Mike. Sorry. In that MRG skin. He weaves his way through the traffic, creating a little bit of a gap there. As you can see, that hard on the brakes to just make that chicane. Westy's getting through the leaders now. Vanderke's still holding on up there. Uh-oh, something happened to Marek. Marek is out. Oh, Randy. He's down for the count, and he is out of this race. It's our 2nd DNF. We got George Emery in the GT class, and now Randy Marek in the Porsches. So sad to see Randy go. We missed the incident there. Looks like he had an off. As the Porsches are making through the Class 2 battle here in mid-pack.
Yeah, just looking at Randy, it looked like he maybe lost a little bit of concentration heading into parts of the circuit where he probably needed to be going a little bit slower, but he just looked like he hit the grass and couldn't slow down. Maybe killed the engine on impact, but
perhaps.
Strange.
Speaking of that, Nuno just had a little bit of lapse, and Ben Summers got around him. So Nuno had a little bit of an off, and this class is getting separated a little bit now. These guys for 4th, 5th, and 6th, 3rd place still held by Phil Brown right there. And up in front, here comes Lars Hagman. About a minute, 2nd and a half behind. 2nd place, Costas Cantazores. See the gap there to 2nd place. While Westy holding on to that 5-second gap.
I wonder whether Nick Westy is perhaps using a different tactic, because we saw 2 weeks ago that he wanted to go obviously as fast as possible. I believe he overtook Tony that was on pole quite early on, but he was beating up his tyres, and he really suffered late on in the race. But now he's got a little bit of a gap, so maybe that gives him a bit of breathing room. So he's already got nearly a 7-second gap on the cars behind, so maybe this circuit is playing to his strengths, and hopefully we won't see a pit stop.
With a 60-minute race, I think they have enough fuel to make it, right?
Yeah. Fuel tanks are big enough. It's more that if they run out of rubber, but we are seeing a lot of tyre locking, and I think the only downside of that is flat spots. And I think it won't be very comfortable for these drivers going down that big long main straight with a flat spot, shaking your fillings out your teeth.
And vibrating everything off of your desk top. So Taylor's really putting the pressure on Vandergeest here as we watch this battle get into Sector 3 at the base of Mount Fuji there. John does a really good job in this section getting ahead. A little bit of a gap, and then let's see if Taylor can catch up on the straight here. Just got to hug that apex. So you don't have to lift. He's done a good job there. See, the Porsches are pretty spread out. Everybody's spreading out a little bit now.
It would be a good finish for John van der Geest. He's been on the podium once this season, and he took part in the Class 1s for the first 2 rounds, but he jumped back down to the Class 2s and is moderately competitive in the Class 2s, but he's been closely shadowed by Robin Taylor, who did get a second last time out. So Robin Taylor wants to go one more step on the podium to maybe get a win this season.
Yes. He that is not to be named has done a really good job. LaBelle getting through some traffic as we get back to this battle for the Class 2 lead. 2 beautifully skinned car. I love that green DB4 paint job, as well as Van der Geest's the Hulk. I'm telling you, man, he is keeping the pressure on. John's got to be feeling it. Positioned himself on the outside there. For John had a little bit of advantage on the previous laps. See if he gets away again. You see, he pulls away right there. He's got a little bit better exit, I believe, than Taylor.
It just goes to show the difference in the geometry, I suppose. The Cobra being a rearward engine car, and the Aston Martin being, I think it's a mid-engine car. I can't remember, or front engine, not too sure, but they seem to be very equally matched. But John has the momentum on the most important part of the circuit, which is the main straight. It does look like Robin can close on the brakes. Heavy braking zone down to turn 1, but not as close as he has been in the past few laps. Sticking with him. We are only 20 minutes gone, so 40 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's got that Shelby powered Cobra. Meanwhile, just behind them, we have another battle here. It looks like Summers has caught Brown again, as Robin Taylor is coming through, and he's about ready to lap. I think that's Michael LaBelle in the red Porsche ahead of Taylor, about to be lapped. Currently in 8th. Yes, that is the case. As Westy gets through these guys.
I was looking at the lap times of the Class 1 drivers. They're all in the 128s, maybe 129s-ish. So they're all running very, very similar pace. That's spaced out a little. I don't know if there's any particular downforce
oh no,
degradation when you're following another car, but it looks like the Austin Healey might be off.
yes, he's had a little bit of trouble there with the traffic. Or was that Summers? No, yeah, Summers got advantage. Summers on that little. Look at how narrow that car is. You know.
I mean, all the GT cars, all the GT Revival cars look miniature in comparison to the Porsches, to be honest.
They're all on the same tires, aren't they, the GT2s?
Yeah, very similar. I think like BioSupply compounds.
Right.
I think the Porsche 917s do have slicks, but yeah, we aren't expecting rain, so no need to change onto any different compounds at all.
Alright, these guys are making their way through. Meanwhile, the battle continues. Van der Geest, they are actually going around. Is that Simon Barnes that they're lapping there? So there's the first GT Class 1 car to go a lap down. Will be Simon in the Ferrari. So the last two laps are very similar. They're only about a tenth apart, 147.6, 147.7 for Vandergeest and Taylor. No surprise there. And that points leader right here, Bjorn, closing in on Jacob Smythe, the MRG driver.
I guess maybe Bjorn takes a little while to warm up. He's getting going. Either that or Jacob Smythe is falling back. But been a few locked tyres coming into that chicane, and Bjorn seems to be keeping his wheels in line. So getting the dirt out of the last corner, that's not good for your exit. But he's about 0.5 away coming down the straight. Let's see how much he can gain. He is closing in down to 0.4. Waving a little bit down the straight, down to about 0.4. So he gains about 1/10 of a second in the draft coming down the straight. So drivers are going to need to be a bit closer than that if they're going to outbrake into turn 1.
We got a message here from Virtual Mayhem. I believe that's Randy. He said he had to pull out of the race because the brake pedal was dragging. No wonder he was so slow in qualifying. Yeah, got to get out the air dust buster. Get in there, and that used to happen to me all the time before I got my different set of pedals that are not using that system. They're digital now, so I don't have to worry about dust anymore. And I believe that's Randy Marek, Virtual Mayhem. That's you, Randy, correct? Or could it be Emery?
We just saw the battle for 4th and 5th go past the battle for 1st and 2nd in Class 2. Thankfully, it didn't seem to split them up at all. They came out unscathed, but Bjorn, as Jacob Smythe does make a shake at the hairpin, I think Bjorn is through.
Yeah, Smythe's taking a long cut. He took the long cut. That was unfortunate for Team MRG right there. If Smythe just got it wrong there, and at least he kept it out of the barriers and off the wall, so he's living to come back. As we're just about halfway. We got 5 minutes to go.
We do have a car in the pits. It's Michael LaBelle. Don't know if that's a scheduled pit stop, but I'll keep an eye on it.
All right, just to validate, that was George. So George Emery in the Corvette is out due to brake drag. Thanks for clarifying that, George. Sorry to see you go, man. And Randy's having internet issues, so that's probably why he is out, as George is making that statement as well. All right, the battle ensues here. Still keeping that 1.5 second, even through the traffic there. There is Smythe. That's Freddie Hell. MRG drivers are still doing well in this race. Meanwhile, Westy having a drive.
It looked like a scheduled pit stop for Michael LaBelle. So around half distance. Looks like he probably took on a half a race of fuel there. I don't know if he took new tyres, but the first of the pit stops, I believe. Actually, Kokotsky is in the pits as well.
Aha!
So half distance. Is this the time when people are deciding to get rid of the worn tyres in the first half of the race?
Very curious as how well this they're holding up on this track. That could be the sign that they are not holding up very well.
You do gain a lot if you don't pit. You just have to hang on to the worn tyres at the end of the race. That is the disadvantage. But it looks like a lot of people have decided to no stop some of these races. I think at the start, the strategy was a little bit up in the air on what drivers were deciding to do, but a no-stop seems to be the way to go unless absolutely necessary. As Robin Taylor puts a fastest lap of the race in, a 1:47.0, so getting close to quali times.
He means business. It looks like Kokotsky is on his way out of the pits now. So he's got himself some fresh rubber and plenty of fuel, I would assume. Comes out into this mess. Holy smokes.
And I believe he's probably sped in the pits. He's just got a drive-through penalty,
Yes.
so that's a bit unfortunate.
Oh, that's gotta hurt. As he's just in front of Simon Barnes there, keeps himself, I think, from getting lapped by Simon. Or perhaps that will put him and Simon on the same lap. I'm not sure, because Simon did indeed get lapped. I'm showing both of them a lap down, so we shall see. Meanwhile, points leader Bjorn holding off Smythe. In third place is Lars Hagman. So the two brothers are currently third and fourth right now, as Westy makes his way through traffic. Coming up on the just freshly pitted Kokoski there. He's the next to pass. So we've got the two twin Austins a lap apart there. Just behind.
It's impressive so far. It's impressive so far that the only retirements at half distance have only been technical problems. We always like to see as many people finish, and no driver errors or fatigue setting in. I know it's an hour's race, but this is full-on stuff getting through all the lap traffic, and particularly when you're the faster cars, I believe they have a 20-second pace on the Class 2s, so it's full concentration mode going through the traffic. But these guys are keeping it on the grey stuff, which is good to see.
I see Kokoski going in for his drive-through. Oh, he's actually the stop and go, or has he read it wrong? What would he have gotten a stop and go for?
It may have been a stop and go. We saw it come up on our screens, but it may have been a stop and go. But
look at the lead now.
Yeah, he's out now, so that must have been a 10-second stop and go. Hopefully he's done the right thing, because I think he wouldn't clear a drive-through if he stopped. So.
And okay, is he good to go?
Yeah, I don't think anything came up on our screen, so out he comes again. Unfortunately down in 8th place and last in Class 2, but this is his first race with us. So welcome to Kokoski for your first race in the World Sports Car Series. So it does look like Robin Taylor has dropped back about 2.5 seconds. I don't know if that was traffic. He's dropped back from John Van der Geest. Maybe he's pushing his tyres a little bit too hard by staying right under his rear lid. But John Van der Geest has now got a little bit of a lead, and I'm going to cross my fingers now past half distance, because John deserves a good finish.
He that is not to be named. Second place, getting through Van der Geest, just ahead now. Costas doing a pretty good job there, just trying to hang in there. He's some 13 seconds back of Westy. Coming up on Ed Jones in the Corvette, the tire whisperer.
I think it was that first stint. You know, they're all running very, very similar pace now. The race has settled down, but that first maybe 10 minutes of the race when Nick Westy just broke away and is now kind of settled into the 128s. The rest of the drivers are similar pace, but now they are quite far behind. So he got good while the going was good.
Yes.
That makes sense. The clear track, he was able to make the most of it.
Yeah, you see that last lap by Phil Brown was in the 48s, 48.5 to a 47.8, so about a half a second difference. We got some lights flashing here. He's coming up on Ed Jones. That is the second place car of Costas. Getting through the second place car. Or that was, I'm sorry, the seventh place car of Ed Jones. Fourth place car. Fifth, wherever he is. Then Bjorn, not too far back. So Bjorn's
I
about
guess Bjorn is now now put in the fastest lap of the race, 1:27.2. So maybe past half distance, now beginning to push.
Yeah, I just noticed that as well. Maybe the car gets a little bit lighter on fuel. All right, Taylor's got it back to under 2 seconds. It's a second and a half now, but he's got traffic to deal with, and that's not going to help.
Bill Brown pits from fourth.
Here he comes.
Oh no, he went straight through the pits. I don't know if that was a drive-through. I didn't see a penalty come up on the screen. I know that he missed a chicane in the last sector, but maybe that was a penalty that didn't come up on our screens.
Either that or
he was avoiding some Class 1 drivers, but maybe that flagged a drive-through, so he took it straight away.
Could have been. Or he just missed his box. You put it in reverse, you might get to DQ if you have too far to go. As Robin Taylor's getting through him now. Or I'm sorry, Nick Westy, teammate. Right, and here is Costas, second place of the Porsches. And there is Bjorn chasing third. Lars is just in front of him. They're going through. Michael LaBelle in the red Porsche there is a lap down. He has also made a stop, so as he lets the third and fourth place drivers through.
Now, as far as points are concerned, it gets a little bit complicated where we have two classes, because they are fully able to maximum points of 40 for a win, and that's times 2, because if you win the Class 1, it's the same points as if you win Class 2.
Right.
So it's going to get very tight at the top of the World Series, because we've got Nick Westy and I believe it's Philip Bischler. They're in the same class, so they're going to take points off each other. But John Van der Geest in third, he won't have points taken off him by the top two, so he's in the hot seat, as they say.
Right, which does make it interesting having a multi-class series for the final series. It did kind of spice up the point situation a little bit there. Reddy Hell is now in the pits.
Maximum of 80 points for these final 2 rounds, so still points to be had. No one could win the championship today, or either championship, but I think it's going to be very close going into the final round, which is going to be at Spa 1988, I believe, which is going to be well suited to some of these cars. It just looked like Freddie Hell is pitting.
Yeah, he's been in there for a minute.
It does look like the Porsches at least do take about 60 seconds to fill up the tank.
That's insane.
And get going again.
But these are retro
Fastest
cars.
lap for Robin Taylor.
Yes, he's caught Van der Geest, and he's right on his heels again. It looks like he's going to have him go. John kind of, puts his car in a position. Keep him off him there. It looks like Taylor is on a mission here. Hang on to it. Good stuff. We've also got a third place battle of the two Hagman brothers. I don't want to leave this though, but because that battle is for third, this battle is for first. We will stick with this battle for now. But the Hagman brothers are both fighting for that third position now, within under a second of each other.
And the Class 2s at the moment have got clear track in front of them, so they should make the most of it. I think Robin's probably seizing on this opportunity of not having to let the Class 1 drivers through, although Nick Westy is a couple of corners back at the moment, but trying to push while he can while not being separated by the Class 1s.
Here is this battle. Now they are using the traffic. It's Lars chasing down brother Bjorn.
Lars is now down to fourth, so Bjorn has overtaken Lars. I wonder whether that was team orders.
Yeah, I'm going to think positively that yes, that it could be the case due to the fact that his brother is leading and helping him out with the points.
Lars is only third in the championship. He's not far away.
No.
He's only 9 points back. So maybe Lars is deciding, go for it, bro.
And Bjorn is only a second back from the second step of the podium, as second place is right there. As the three of them battle down that long, almost 1 mile straight.
I mean, we've seen this before. Everything seems to settle down mid-race, and then as it builds up to the end of the race, it builds up to a bit of a crescendo. So we're looking at a bit of a grandstand finish. We've got battles for third, fourth, and fifth.
Yes.
Second, third, and fourth in
Right.
the Class 1s, and
Right.
that battle for the first and second in the Class 2.
As in here it is. The battle ensues. As the Taylor gets through, or Westy, I keep getting these two mixed up. They are teammates. It's been a long series.
Oh, Bjorn's gone around.
There he is.
Just got a rear wheel on the grass and moved sideways across across the track. His brother was probably holding his breath.
He's sneaking in behind.
Very, very close.
He's trying to get a toe off of the GT car there. Oh, they're both going off. Hang on to it, man. Holy smokes. Some crazy stuff. There is Ed Jones. 5th place in the GT class. And someone else is pitting. Was that Fischler? Nope. It was LaBelle. Okay, so LaBelle's back in the pit. Alrighty then. Nuno sticking within a second or two of Phil Brown there. And Ed Jones. I guess Phil Brown's out in front of these guys. It was Jones I was referring to. But this is a little bit of a battle here.
Jones started at the back of the field.
Yes.
And now up to 5th place. So he's coming good at the end of the race. That Corvette power is proving, although Nuno is right alongside as he was letting some Class 1s through, so this gives him a chance.
He's made the pass. All right, Nuno. Hey, no balls, no glory, right? It's just, I'm going to ride these guys through. If he makes that pass, puts himself into 5th place, and now it's fortunate for Haroff. Was that Smythe? Or was it Freddie? It's Freddie Hell taking another tour. That was Freddie. He's getting quite familiar with the opposite alternative route through that hairpin there. It looks like Lars is caught up slightly again to brother Bjorn, but I think, like you said, they could be settled in to just be happy behind him and let his brother get the point, if possible. Yeah. Meanwhile, Westy's increased his lead to 17 seconds over the field. He's just flying. Costas looks like he's got about 7 seconds out. They did tighten up, so I'm kind of curious. Remember, about 4 or 5 laps ago, Bjorn and Lars were right there next to Costas within a couple seconds, and now that gap has grown to 7 seconds. So interesting enough.
Yeah, it does look like Costas may be suffering a little bit with lap times, down to about a 1:29. And we know that Bjorn can do a 1:28, and he is kicking on after his little bit of a whoops, coming into that sector
Right.
3.
Well, you can see both the
I think
Hagmans. Both the Hagmans were in 130 last lap. With Cantasaurus' last lap was 129.2, so almost a second quicker there.
Yeah, he didn't really lose. Oh, he's down to the 129s as they cross the line, so very similar in pace. So with about 17 minutes to go, it is possible for him to catch, but he's got to put a bit of a wiggle on. He can do a 127. We've seen that, but is he happy with just a third to consolidate his championship points? I think maybe the championship lead will change this time if they all stay as they are. As 15th place has spun. 15th place.
Kokoski?
I think that's Kokoski. He's got going again, but he is must have had a little bit of a spin in sector 2 there.
Jacob Smythe makes his way around. And meanwhile, this race-long battle for the GP Class 1 lead. Really been no let up, maybe a lap or two of rest when there was a gap. But now it's back to defense for Vandergeest.
Good strong showing for Ben Summers as well. I've just noticed that he's now up to 3rd in the Class 2, so he's putting some competitive lap times. He stayed out of trouble. Obviously, we saw he lunched his engine at the end of qualifying, but
Right.
hopefully no quick down changes did that in the race. But quite a solid run. It probably will be his best finish of the season, I think.
He's got to just hang on for another 15 minutes. He's probably got a brand new engine after that fire. Meanwhile, pressure's on. Taylor is able to close it up. 0.3 is the gap. I think John Vandergeest trying to stay out of the, giving him a tow there, going to the inside. He's starting to feel the pressure, is Vandergeest.
I wonder whether that may have actually because there is such a thing as lack of grip offline. I don't know if there's anything such as pickup, so going to the inside down the straight will probably be quite dirty. I don't know whether that will hinder your braking into turn 1, but he looked like he went majorly defensive. And it
Right.
looks like Robin is showing himself in the mirrors through this section, but a Porsche coming up to lap them. It's going to make things a little bit awkward.
Big Simons Barnes just had a spin. I believe that's LaBelle getting through now. The 2 leaders.
It does look like Ben Summers is pitting, so it looks like maybe he's run out of tyres.
Perhaps. There he sits.
Oh, and away he goes. That was a pit stop, unless I missed it. But maybe it was just tyres and not fuel. But that was very, very quick.
Yes, he's coming out now.
He hasn't lost to Nuno, who was about 40 seconds behind, so he was safe in that regard. So
yeah,
down
Nuno
to
had
fourth.
a little bit of an incident. Nuno. Summers and Nuno. Yeah, there's still about 30-second gap. Wow. The relentless battle for the lead.
I mean, you've probably found this in some of the longer races that you've done, Rob. You don't really want to give your hand away or give your plan away too early. If you take a stab up the inside, then the driver ahead is going to be wise to that move.
Whoa, 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 whoa! There it goes! Did you see that? As Nick Westy got through the 2 leaders, Vandergeest lost the rear end and almost cost him the lead, but he managed to hang on to it. And Taylor was going to be the beneficiary there, but he did just avoid contact. Really good driving there. Oh, now he's going around. Oh no. Taylor, hold on to it, man. Hold on to it. Luckily, there's nobody coming quick to get him back off the track. Here comes the next second place car of Costas. Woo, so there goes our battle. Vandergeest can breathe a sigh of relief now and at least rest for a couple of laps. Oh, we got some Costas burning some rubber there.
Yeah, John Vandergeest had a little bit of trouble getting into that chicane and went off as well, but I don't think he span fully around, so... But now that battle that we were looking forward to down the end of the race, if John Vandergeest can keep it together, now 5.5 seconds that Taylor has to catch up.
He's pitting. Vandergeest is pitting. So is Taylor going to stay out? Taylor's staying out and taking the lead. I'm wondering if these guys are going to have to pit for tires, perhaps. I think Vandergeest, what was a close call? He almost lost it. And I believe that was his motivation here to get some fresh rubber. Let's see if it's a splash and dash or just tires. Going to stay out. How long his pit stop is going to be. It looks like it's one of those dreadfully long ones. There he goes. Okay, so probably rubber only. He's coming back and he's going to maintain his position, I believe. Second place.
Yeah, it was only stationary for about maybe 15 to 20 seconds, so it looked like it was maybe a splash and dash. Maybe I think I did read that he had a. He came over the line with a near empty tank, and he wasn't expecting the extra lap 2 weeks ago. So maybe he's being extra sure, and he's got a big gap to third base, so he might as well take that free pit stop. But that has given Robin Taylor the lead. Right, by some 30 seconds. So that's the difference of a pit stop. And Phil Brown, like you said, it's some 16, 17 seconds behind. And yeah, they are pretty spread out. I mean, the closest battle would be Ed Jones is only 10 seconds behind Nuno now. And I think Phil Brown did pit quite early on, about 35 minutes-ish, so maybe he's already got the tyre stop out the way. But Phil Brown has had battling through the field. He's quite well down on the top two, but I don't know if John can actually catch up in these last under 10 minutes to go. Right, it's going to take a stop, I believe, and here it is, a stop. So, here we go. Taylor's in the pits. Let's see how long he takes. Get your stopwatches out. Right. I kind of wish we had split screen. 1004, 1005. John Vandergeest is just coming out the last corner. Wow, this is going to be tight. He's going to pass. And Robin Taylor is away. This is going to be very close into turn one. John Vandergeest is absolutely full speed. Oh my gosh, he's going to be in front by. But does he have the momentum to hang on? Oh, we got a good finish here. So this sets up for a good battle. However, Taylor, we know, was quick. And now if he has fresh rubber, there is Vandergeest. Roles reversed. Race long. Right. Robin Taylor has been sniffing at the back of this Cobra, and now John Vandergeest has got to go hunting. He's got 8.5 minutes to make it up. See what happens there. Meanwhile, the battle for fifth in the Porsche class has tightened up. Fischler running down Jacob Smythe. One and a half seconds back. Get through. I think that's Smythe ahead with maybe one of his teammates that's the lap down. Yeah, I believe so. Has got two teammates ahead of him. But I have been looking at the gap between Bjorn Hagman and Kostas Kanzouras. The gap is coming down. It was 7 seconds. It's now just under 4. And we've got just over 7 minutes to go, so this is possible for the second step on the podium.
Vandergeest just within 1.3, 1.2 now. Gets through Simon Barnes. Things are heating up here with just 7 minutes remaining. About 4 or 5 laps worth of racing. Fischler making that push. He's within he's under 2 seconds now. So that is Freddie Hale and Smythe.
It's going to depend on where these drivers catch traffic, certain parts of the circuit, because as you know, that can drop lap time down about a couple of seconds. So it can depend on traffic, a bit on pace.
Fischler gets through. John Vandergeest has fallen back a little bit now. The gap is almost 2.5 seconds, so he lost some time there with traffic, I believe. Here comes Bjorn. See if John can tighten it up. And there is Lars getting through.
It does look like John Vandergeest is fastest in the latter half of the lap, and he closes up about half a second, but loses it in the first 2 sectors.
Yeah.
But it's waving between about 1.5 to 2 seconds. It just depends how good these cars are on newer tyres. They hit it quite late, so they're going to have some fresh rubber towards the end, so they can push on.
The Austin, I think, has the advantage in the turns, and then that Gilby Cobra power pays off on the straighter parts, where he can get his foot down. Remember, they were really close in qualifying as well. So it's go time now with just about 4.5 minutes remaining. Does Vandergeest have anything for him? The Pichler-Smythe battle is real as well, as these guys are battling for 5th place. Move Pichler up in the points a little bit.
It looks like John must have had a great lap. He's now within a second of Robin Taylor coming onto the main straight. So either Robin Taylor had a shocking turn with traffic. He's closed right up on the rear of Robin Taylor. So battle resumed.
Right, with the traffic for 5th place battle coming through them now, the Porsches. This is Pichler's attempt. He's going to get a shot. He looks like he's going to take the spot. And he gets Smythe on the straight, but is he going to hold it? And he brings it right down through. So Smythe dropping into 6th. Pichler taking over 5th. Nicely done there by Philipp Pichler from Germany, taking over that 5th position. A brilliant run today with just 3.5 minutes left. Meanwhile, Vandergeest is into a half a second.
Going to need to have your head on a swivel as well, because Don Hackman is now within a second of Kanzuras. So we've got a battle for 2nd and 3rd in Class 1 and a battle for the lead in Class 2.
Look at John working that wheel. Wow, some really good graphics here. All right, here is that 2nd and 3rd place battle. He is within a second. This is from the dash of Bjorn Hegman as they go down the straight. 0.6 now. Just closing in a little bit, perhaps getting a little bit of a break with the Costas cutting through the air for him. He is caught right up to him, hasn't he? They got traffic in front, Class 2 traffic ahead. Bjorn, the points leader, going for more. Oh, this could be good. Two minutes remaining, 2 minutes. Oh, he's hard on the brakes, just bending everything that he's got left on those tires, just late breaking it into that chicane as Costas is defending beautifully. Bjorn, it's all over. This is white flag lap. Here we go. Last lap started. Westy has just crossed the line, and this will be the last lap of this race with 1:27 left. I don't believe they're going to have to set a record lap to create another lap, but it could be possible. There could be 2 seconds left as Westy crosses. That would give us one more lap. So we'll have to see. But this is a brilliant battle here for second place. A little bit of traffic.
It's locking up.
Right.
Him under pressure in this final lap.
Costas.
A bit of traffic might come into play.
And he wisely gets out of the way. Vandergeest is still a second within that Robin Taylor for this last lap. Westy's in the final turn. They're coming up to the chicane.
And the last
he's
one
going to the inside.
Dive.
Oh. Good job keeping off each
one
other.
One final chance for the final corner.
They're going to drag race it. Here comes Westy, has just crossed the line. There is your winner, but let's get back to this battle. Vic Westy has won round 5 at Fuji. Brilliant run, led from checkered, or from green to checkered all the way, and this is the battle for second place. Going to close in enough. Going for the drag race, and he holds on for second place. A brilliant run by Costas. Lars is going to come in third. Meanwhile, let's get back to this. Pichler will be crossing the line in 5th. Or did they cross? Is the race still on? Did Westy get across with the second lap?
He may have done, because I think they're still battling.
Holy smokes, they're still racing.
You've got one more lap.
Well, excuse me. So,
the fat lady hasn't sung yet.
No. Good heavens. That gives Bjorn a shot here. Now Westy's in the last corner once again. Deja vu. Hard on the brakes is Costas. Holding on. Bjorn is all over him. Is it going to drag race? There is. Okay, once we've seen this game before. There is your winner. Here comes the battle for second and third. This time around, it's a little bit more of a gap. Let's see what happens. The race for second place. It looks like it's going to stay as it is with Costas and Bjorn. What a brilliant race these guys had. And there it is. There is your second and third. Here comes Pichler with Smythe giving a push. Smythe's not done, but he does put a foot in the grass. He's drag racing it down to the end. He might have something for him. Smythe going to the outside, and just not quite enough to get it done. But a good finish nonetheless. Meanwhile, Vandergeest and Taylor have both already retired. So interesting. How come they are not still on their lap? They must have been a lap down and crossed already, as these guys are all heading into the pits now. So Phil Brown pitting. Who's left out here? We got Ben Summers. Coming across with, I believe that's Kakowski, who's a lap down. And these guys have a nice little parallel finish here. So that's it. Holy smokes, everybody. That was some kind of crazy finish, I got to say. Let's get a look at these session results. I think everybody's done. Is everybody not done?
We're all finished. I'm out of breath, but we're all finished.
It looks like, yeah. It looks like he's trying to blow up his car again. Is Ben Summers. He's almost on fire. He's trying to have a photo finish from quali. All right, was that Smythe? Yeah. All right, what a run, everybody. That was really good. That was really good. Okay, let's check out these session results. There we have Nick Westy, your leader, 43 laps with Costas Kantosaurus. And Bjorn Hagman just in that tight battle for second. Lars Hagman finishing fourth. Jacob Smythe in fifth. Philip Pitchler in sixth. Freddie Hell in seventh. Michael Bell finishes eighth. Then we have Ben Summers, 11th, 12th, and 13th. This is the third place of the GTs. Fourth place in the GT, Phil Brown. Nuno, fifth. Ed Jones is sixth. Michelle Kakowski, seventh. There we go. And Simon Barnes bringing that. And then Randy Marek and George Emery were the two DNFs. So there you have it. There is your finish. You see there Taylor and John Vandergeest finishing second, third. So wow, what a race. That was really something. Enjoyed that immensely. What do we have to look forward to in 2 weeks? Woody, what's coming up next?
So we've got one more round of this madness, absolute madness in Spa-Francorchamps on the 1988 layout. So I believe it's the layout with the stop chicane. So that's going to be very tight for traffic and getting these Porsche 917s through. So I don't think Rouge is going to be flat. Maybe for the GT revival cars, but not for the Porsches. But I have totaled up the points, and we can see what the picture is coming into that final round. It does look like Nick Westy is now leading the Class 1 Championship with 171 points from Bjorn Hagman with 165. Lars Hagman is now in third with 153. Philip Pitchler is in fourth with 145. And only just behind is Kostas Kantzouris with 143. But with the Class 2s, the championship is a bit more self-explanatory. That Phil Brown is kind of running away with it. He's still not won the championship. It still can be lost in 2 weeks' time. Phil Brown now leads with 170 points, but Ben Summers is now second in the championship with 145.
Wow.
Simon Barnes now sneaks up to third place in the championship, because I don't think Gilles de Silva actually started the race and will not score points this round. So Simon Barnes now in third with 131. Ed Jones not far behind in fourth with 127, and a bit further adrift is Gilles de Silva with 113. So all to play for in the last round, Rob.
Wow, nice work there, Woody. That was good stuff. Yeah. So that was a knuckle biter. So what's coming up next at Sim Racing Online? If you are AMS2 on Tuesday nights, we have the Brazilian Stock Car 2022 model. That's Tuesday, December 2nd. And then right after that, we have the LMU prep series for the upcoming championship of 2026. That'll be a night race at Bahrain in the LMGT3 in the ELMS P2 class. Get yourself signed up for that. Then we have the a week from that, on Monday, we have the Group C AMS2 series starting at Hermanos del Rio Hondo. That will be a 6-race series. Also, signups are all now open for the 2026 LMU Multi-Class Championship starting on January 11th. That'll be 8 races with 2 bonus rounds in the end, and there's going to be some prizes awarded in that. There is I heard a rumor that there is some stuff going on in the background. After 6 rounds, some stuff could be given away, some LMU related stuff. So get yourself signed up for that. Brazilian stock cars again in 2 weeks from Tuesday as we go down. And then GT Revival, December 14th at Spa Francorchamps for the finale of this World Series. This has been a great World Series. We're looking forward to doing it again next year. So see if we can get a sponsor on board for that. And I think with that, doesn't look like we have any guest speakers today. I don't see anybody popping into the chat. So guess we're going to call it a day and be off with it. And we'll look forward to seeing you all in 2 weeks. For myself, Woody, this is Rob Milliken and Neil Woods signing off from Sim Racing Online, and hope to see you on the next one. All right. Thanks a lot.